A Fieldcraft Chronicles documentary guide. Welcome to Fieldcraft Chronicles. Today we're descending into the sensory hell of the Great War's trenches, where survival depended not just on what you could see, but on what you could hear. The soldiers of World War I didn't just endure the cacophony of industrial warfare, they learned to read it, manipulate it, and ultimately survive by it. This is the story of battlefield acoustics as fieldcraft, where sound became both weapon and lifeline. Imagine standing in a forward trench at dawn, your boots submerged in freezing water, the air thick with cordite and decay. Before you see anything, you hear everything. The veterans around you have taught you that survival begins with your ears. That distant rumble isn't thunder, it's artillery ranging, the sound travelling through the earth itself before the air carries the report. Experienced soldiers pressed their ears to the trench wall or used improvised listening devices, empty biscuit tins buried in the mud with tubes leading to their positions, primitive hydrophones that amplified the vibrations of enemy tunneling or approaching tanks. This wasn't just paranoia, it was tradecraft born from necessity. Men who couldn't distinguish the whine of an incoming 77mm shell from the deeper howl of a 150mm had seconds to live. The pitch, the duration, the direction, all of it mattered. Soldiers developed an almost supernatural ability to process acoustic information, their brains filtering the chaos into actionable intelligence. They knew that the peculiar sucking sound meant gas canisters releasing their poison, that the metallic scrape was wire cutters working in no man's land, that the sudden silence after days of bombardment meant the assault was coming. Acoustic camouflage, the art of silent movement. But reading sound was only half the equation. Mastering silence became its own survival skill. Trench raiders wrapped their boots in sandbags or strips of blanket, moving like ghosts through the wire. They learned to time their movements with artillery barrages, using the percussive thunder to mask the sound of their advance. Water bottles were drained or filled completely. Half-empty canteens sloshed and betrayed position. Metal equipment was wrapped in cloth. Rifles were slung to prevent clanking, and men learned to breathe through their mouths to quiet their respiration. Night patrols developed hand signals and touch communication because even whispers carried across the desolate landscape. Some units employed sound decoys, setting up gramophones, playing conversation and movement in abandoned positions while they attacked elsewhere. The Canadians at Vimy Ridge used Chinese labourers to dig diversionary tunnels, their pickaxes creating acoustic signatures that drew enemy attention away from the real assault routes. This was fieldcraft elevated to psychological warfare, using the enemy's own acoustic awareness against them. Yet sound wasn't only about tactical advantage. In waterlogged dugouts where hypothermia, trench foot, and dysentery were constant companions, where rats grew fat on corpses and lice infested every seam, music became medicine for the soul. Harmonicas, makeshift drums fashioned from ammunition crates, battered violins carried from home, these instruments fought against the degrading horror. Men sang to remind themselves they were still human, still capable of beauty amid butchery. The British would belt out "It's a Long Way to Tipperary" during bombardments, their voices defiant against the mechanical violence. The French sang La Marseillaise before dawn attacks, transforming terror into collective courage. Battalion bands played near the lines, their music drifting through the smoke, providing rhythm for marching columns of reinforcements. This wasn't entertainment. it was survival psychology. The acoustic environment shaped mental endurance as surely as rations shaped physical strength. The acoustic fieldcraft of the Great War resonates today. Modern preppers and survivalists understand that situational awareness begins with disciplined listening. Whether you're in wilderness survival or urban emergency scenarios, the ability to filter meaningful sound from background noise, to move silently when necessary, and to maintain morale through simple human connection remains vital. Those World War I soldiers surviving month after month in conditions designed to break them teach us that adaptability isn't just physical. It's sensory, psychological, and communal. Subscribe to Fieldcraft Chronicles to explore more forgotten survival wisdom from history's crucibles. Share this with anyone who values preparedness, resilience, and the hard-earned lessons of those who endured the unendurable. The past speaks, we just need to listen.